Okay, it's recording. Okay,
Okay.
so this is starting at 6:02-ish.
All right. All right. So hi Tamara, I'm Kaylee. So today we're just going to be spending about like 20 minutes ish learning a little more about you. So I just wanted to get a better understanding of you and your health journey. So does that sound pretty good to you?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. So what initially brought you in today?
I think I just wanted to get a better grasp on my just overall health and wellness and figure out how to just become healthier overall.
Okay. So are you looking at learning a little bit more about nutrition or the exercise and physical activity aspect?
I think nutrition is what I'd like to learn more about today.
Okay. And why do you feel like you need to change this?
I just think being like a busy college student, I think that nutrition's the last thing that I usually have on my mind. So
Hmm.
I just feel like I would gain a lot from learning about nutrition rather than the physical part because we have the gym for that. And I think I'm pretty
Gotcha.
okay with that.
Okay. So you think you have a pretty active lifestyle already. So you want to just
Yeah,
kind of focus in.
definitely.
Okay. Sounds good. So you said you're a college student. Do you also work or are you just a full-time student?
Yes, I do also work, so that makes my schedule even busier. So I have
Hmm.
less time to think about food and nutrition.
Okay. So do you think you could walk me through um like your typical diet?
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
I can pull up a page here. So I was thinking we could just go through like maybe a day and what you would normally eat. And I'll kind of explain as we go through, but I can share my screen with you and we can check out this hunger and fullness scale.
Okay, perfect.
Um, Here, let's see. I think you have to enable the screen sharing because you're the host.
Okay, I think.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so are you able to see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so basically this scale is just 0 through 10, 0 being you're totally starving, and 10 being you're so full that you're almost sick.
Okay,
um,
for right
so
now.
let's start. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I was wondering if this was based on my hunger and fullness for right now or a typical day.
So we could go through like meal by meal. So like a typical day, what's usually like the first thing that you would eat in a day?
Um, Usually a granola bar, just because my first opportunity to eat in the day is usually while I'm on the go to somewhere else. So a granola bar.
Okay. Okay. And that is that first thing in the morning?
Yes. Pretty
Okay.
soon after I wake up.
Gotcha. So where on the scale would you say you are before that granola bar?
Honestly, probably lightly full to neutral, so around a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, never really super hungry in the mornings.
Okay. And then for your next meal of the day, getting closer to like lunchtime-ish, what would you maybe eat?
I'm definitely a snacker, so maybe some chips and salsa or a waffle or something.
Okay. And where on the scale do you think you are around that time?
I'd say maybe like lightly hungry, so in between like a 3 and a 4.
Okay. And then after you eat that, are you like totally full or are you kind of neutral?
Yeah, I'd say I'm at an 8 at that point.
Okay. Okay, so you're pretty full after lunch.
Yeah.
And then, so the next time you eat throughout the day, what would you usually have?
Um, I'd say I'd probably snack on some candy because I
Okay.
love to have candy. And then the next meal would probably be dinner.
Okay. And then, so coming up on dinner time, are you super hungry?
Yeah, I'd say I'm in between a 2 and a 3.
Okay. Okay, and then after dinner, are you totally full before you go to bed?
I wouldn't say before I go to bed, just because I eat kind of a while before I go to sleep.
Okay.
So I would say maybe um 8 or 9.
Sorry, I'm trying to
Oh,
hang up this phone call. So you said you're about an 8 or a 9?
yeah.
Okay, so you're pretty full though.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like you generally eat like a pretty basic 3 meals a day. You snack a little bit in between, but you don't ever wait until you're totally starving. You just kind of eat when
No,
you're hungry and eat until you're full.
yeah, I'll only wait if I have a super big assignment that I'm really into at the moment.
Okay, so school gets a little bit in the way
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I can stop sharing this screen now. Can you still see the screen or is it
Yeah.
just okay. All right. So, how is this eating pattern working for you? Would you say that it's working out? Do you want to like huge changes? Do you want to just change a couple things?
I would say that it's not my favorite eating pattern,
Mhm.
as most of the things are just like super quick on the go foods and never really the healthiest options. So I would
Okay.
say like just figuring out how to make healthier options and balance time better.
Okay. So, you're looking for a little bit of time management
Yeah,
and just being able to pick out some healthier snacks and meals.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, what are some positives about this pattern that you would like to keep?
I'd say some positives are definitely the snacking. It usually allows me to get my sweet treat in for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's always nice. And it's definitely not the best time management, but it is efficient.
Okay.
I always have time to do whatever else I need to do.
Okay. So, it works well with your schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, how do you think changing your diet could make your life better?
I think it could make my life better by just becoming healthier and working more food groups into my eating patterns and just feeling better and allowing my body to get like the
Okay. So, you think you typically,
yeah.
okay. So, you feel better when you're eating healthier, you
Yeah,
think?
definitely. More energy.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good. So do you feel like now would be an appropriate time to make this change in your life?
I think so.
Okay.
I have a good handle on school right now, so I have time to pick up other things.
Okay. And you have people around you that would support it, or do you think there might be some barriers?
Yeah, definitely. I think that all of the people around me would definitely be into eating healthier.
Okay, that's awesome. So what have you tried anything yet? Or do you have any ideas that you'd like to try?
No, I'm not really into dieting, so I haven't really thought anything about that. I just want to make sure that I start getting all of the different food groups into my daily diet.
Okay. So when you say you want all of the food groups, what do you think you're lacking in? Like fruits and veggies or like meats?
Yeah, I'd definitely say vegetables and meat.
Okay. Veggies and meat. Okay, so I have um a little circle chart that I'm going to share with you and we can kind of hone in on one subject that we can talk about today.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's see. And if you have anything you'd like to add, I left one of them open for you. So if there's something that's not on here that you do want to talk about, we can totally add that in. Um but I'm just going to go through these really quick and kind of give you a layout of what each one is.
Okay.
So I have just the pretty common ones that people have trouble with. So the first one is eating out. That's just basically if you think you have an issue trying to pick out healthy options when you go out to eat, or if you're having a problem eating out too much, or you feel like you don't ever get to go eat out, we could totally talk about that and how to deal with that. Individual meals would be more like if you're somebody who has a problem eating breakfast in the morning, we could discuss that. Sweets, I think you said before that you do like having your snacks so
Mhm.
you can get your sweets in for the day. Um, but yeah, there's also healthier options to down the sweets route, so we could talk about that. Grocery shopping, like you said, you're not getting enough meats and vegetables specifically, so we could talk about ways that you could, or like some methods that you could use when you grocery shop in order to incorporate all of the food groups. Work and school are important to you, so we could discuss meal planning or being able to incorporate your diet with your schedule. Next, we have habits. So, like if you tend to be a bit of a binge eater, or if you have trouble gauging your hunger and fullness level, it seems like you're pretty okay in that realm. And then eating competence is pretty much just adjusting your attitude altogether towards food. So just giving it a positive aspect. So is there any of these that really stick out to you that you'd like to talk about today?
Yeah, I think I'd like to talk about the work and school.
Okay, so more of like a time management approach.
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop sharing this. Okay. So do you want to talk about currently, we talked a little bit about your schedule, your eating schedule. How does that fit in with work and school? Like, do you have time to cook at home, or do you just kind of have to cram in whatever you can between those two?
I'm not much of a cooker, so that's never really the issue, but I'd say like just getting like a full, well-balanced meal in between school and work to make sure that I can stay full longer to get me through the day.
Okay, gotcha. And that's important too, to make sure you have the time to cook. I know a lot of people that are doing school and working, even just one of those can be tough to make time to have a proper meal.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring up this handout. So, have you ever heard of intuitive eating?
I have recently, but I'm not an expert on it, that's for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you again just so you can see what I'm looking at.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so intuitive eating is something that I think could really work for you. You might want to look into that a little more if you get the chance, but this is a little handout. And it's just kind of a rundown of what it is. And this is something that I've found can be really helpful for busy people. So people who don't have much time between work and school, and you don't want to go on a diet necessarily. But this is one way to really just pinpoint what your body needs and get to know yourself a little better. And you can incorporate this into your schedule. I think it could be really beneficial for someone like you with your workload.
Okay, yeah, that looks really interesting. I think that I'll definitely have to take a look at this after our session.
Okay, so that sounds like something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so do you have any other ideas that you would want to change? Is there anything else that you would like to touch on of those topics from the circle chart?
Um, maybe let's do the sweets one. I'm interested
Okay.
to hear about that.
Okay. Let me just bring that up really quick. So as you probably know, there are a lot of different options that you could do to find like healthier desserts. And I know it's very common for people to have an issue with that because they're not necessarily as tasty.
Hmm.
Have you found any issues with that before, or have you tried looking for different options?
Yeah, definitely not a fan of the artificially sweetened, like the stevia gummies and all of those.
Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so here's another little handout that I have. So this is basically just talking about not trying to limit the foods that you eat, because I know that there can be some guilt or shame with people eating desserts or sweets and things like that. So this is kind of just something that you can learn to do, and you can try to eat in moderation when you have these things. So you're not totally limiting yourself, but it's something that can be really helpful, because when you crave something, you want to eat it right away. And it's just going to get worse until you do it. So this just talks a little bit about really tuning in with your food when you eat it, so that like those cravings are a little bit more satisfying than you just putting it off or trying to limit the certain things that you're eating. Does that sound interesting to you at all?
Yeah, I'm really interested about this.
Okay,
Another thing
awesome.
I'll definitely have to look into.
Okay. Do you feel that when it comes to sweets, when you crave them, is it like something you have to have now, or are you pretty able to put that off?
No, I feel like I definitely give in to the sweet tooth and I'll try and do it in moderation, but I
Okay.
don't usually like to tell myself no.
Okay. That's it. That's okay though. Telling yourself no can be not such a great thing all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think influences your decisions when it comes to sweets?
I I mean, I just love how sweets taste in general, but I would say that they're also just like something quick to eat. Like I don't know, you can just grab one and eat it and there you go.
Okay.
As like a meal, you have to sit there and make it and put it on the plate and put it all together. It just takes too much time.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's another issue with time management kind of, huh?
Yeah, I would definitely say that it is.
Okay. So it sounds like today we've kind of covered just the basics, and we can dive more into that as we go. But it sounds like your main issues are you want to incorporate some more food groups. You need some help with time management, which we can definitely cover. And you just have a little bit of an issue with the sweets, but we can totally get working on that and find some options that work for you. Um, and I think that's about all we have time for today. Do you feel good about this so far?
I do. I think that a lot of the information you gave me is really going to help with my nutrition journey and really start focusing on the things that I'd like to fix.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today. And we'll discuss more soon.
Thank you. Okay. How do I stop? Should I pause or stop?
You could probably just pause it and then just resume it. Okay.
Hi, Kaylee. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. So today we are just having a little talk about some things for your nutrition. So I was wondering if you wanted to focus more on your like your nutritional health or your physical health today.
I'm thinking I'd like to focus more on nutrition. I'm pretty active on a daily basis, so I think I just need a little bit more help picking out some healthier options.
Okay, good. So just some help picking out healthier options. I can
hmm
definitely help you with that today. So what do you think overall brought you here today and you're hoping to get out of this appointment?
Well, I've started going to the gym a lot more recently. So I tend to be a lot hungrier, obviously, because I'm working out all the time. So I feel like I need to add more substance to my diet, but I'm not really sure how to choose the healthiest way to do that.
Okay, so we're focusing more on like what you're eating and how to get those nutritional
Yes.
benefits. Okay. So today I think we're going to start with just a bit of an assessment to hear more about your nutritional your where you stand right now for your nutrition and where you kind of want to go with that. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get started with that assessment. Oop,
Awesome.
can you see that? I'm not sure what it looks like.
Yeah, I can see that just fine.
Okay. So I have a goals and readiness assessment.
Mhm.
So you kind of went over the reason why you wanted to visit today, which is you're
Mhm.
just picking healthier options and getting more nutritional benefits for the amount that you're working out. And what would you say that your goals are for your food and nutrition?
I'm not totally sure at the moment, but I think
That's
I
okay.
know I would like to get a little bit better at grocery shopping and picking out things that I need and being able to make that last for the week. Because I do like to cook, but I don't have a whole bunch of time. So I think most of my help I need is just picking the right foods.
Okay, so picking the right foods and kind of balancing time.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. And what would you say that your overall health goals are?
Um, just I don't know. I definitely have been working out a lot more just for general appearance reasons that I want to look better, but I'd also like to start eating better because I know that it's important for my physical health. I don't have any underlying health conditions or anything that runs in the family, but I'd like my body to be as healthy as possible.
Okay. So you'd say that you started your health journey for appearance reasons, but you want to work in more of the nutritional value and the overall health aspect to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect. And do you have three things that you would have to change about your nutrition habits and your health?
Um, Let me think about that. I think definitely one thing that I would like to change is my snacking. Um, I have a tendency to once I start, I don't stop. Um, or like after dinner, I always have to have some kind of dessert, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that I could use a little moderation.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, another thing that I would like to change, hmm, is probably just eating more at better times.
Okay.
I have a pretty busy schedule because I'm a student and I work as well. And the hours that I have school and work are just so off that when I do eat, it's like either super early in the morning, or super late at night. So I need to manage my time a little better, I think.
Okay, so time management is something that
Definitely.
has become a habit that you would like to change. Okay.
Yeah. And then one more thing would probably just be um my ability to know when I'm full. I tend to wait until I'm totally starving to eat, and then I eat so quickly that I fill up super fast and I don't notice until my whole plate's gone. Then I realize that I am so full, I feel like I'm going to explode.
Okay. We can definitely talk about that. I think I might have some tips and tricks that can help you.
Awesome.
Okay, and for the next question, what would you say your biggest challenges are to reach your nutrition goals?
I think the biggest issue is definitely time.
Time? Okay.
Yeah.
So time management is important to you. And as you said, you're a student and you work. So it's a little tricky to figure that out sometimes. And in the past, have you tried any diets or dieting behaviors related to nutritional goals?
Um, so right when quarantine started about a year, I wanted to kind of get a better handle on what I ate, but I think I really approached it in the wrong way. So I was like calorie counting a lot, which just ended up being super unhealthy. And after I stopped that, I did that for like a couple months and I was not eating enough at all. I lost a bunch of weight. And then when I came back to school, after quarantine, I had no control over what I ate at all. So then I was eating too much. So dieting is not really my forte.
Okay, yeah. So you would say that you tried some dieting behaviors and they just didn't work out, but you reevaluated and started to try and figure out things that were better for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then we're actually going to skip the rest of that. Okay, so now let's find something that we would like to focus on for the rest of this session. So I have a circle chart that I can pull up that will be able to give you a few options of things that you might want to talk about. Okay, let me share that. Okay. Oop, how do I make this bigger? Okay, so this is the circle chart I have for today. So just to kind of go over the items I have on here, I have a circle about balancing food and exercise. So just kind of creating a better balance for working out and what you're eating. And then honoring your hunger. I have a balancing cravings and nutrition, getting all of the necessary nutrients that you need to maintain a healthy body and a healthy lifestyle, intuitive eating, working on positive self talk, the food police voice, and an other bubble.
Okay. Um, I think I'd like to start with honoring your hunger. I feel like I struggle with that a lot.
Okay, and do you have any previous knowledge on honoring your hunger?
No, not very much.
Okay, so honoring your hunger is basically just listening to your body, and if it's telling you that it's hungry, then you would think about how hungry it is. You can maybe rate it on a hunger, fullness and hunger scale, and just figuring out what would be the best food for you to eat during that time, but also honoring what your body wants or what your mind wants. And if that's something sweet, maybe just having a sweet treat to honor your hunger, because it's been found that not honoring your hunger can actually lead to creating a binge cycle or just having feelings of regret after eating something that you may not have wanted to eat.
Okay.
So that's that. So I'm going to stop sharing this now and then we can go to this. So, how would you describe your, if I were to say, how hungry are you from a scale of 1 to 10? Would you say that you could evaluate that well and really hone in on a number, or would you really have to think about it?
I think it would take me a minute to think about it. Um, but like if you were to ask me right now, I would say I'm probably like a 5, like a pretty neutral area.
Okay, so neutral. And would you say that would you wait until you're hungry to eat next, or are you going to eat at maybe a certain time or after you finish a few things?
Um, I try to get everything. Food is kind of tends to be my last priority. So after all my classes and stuff, and then after this meeting, I would probably just try to cram in like a quick dinner, um, before I go to the gym or something. So I would probably wait until I'm like a 4 or 3.
Okay, and what would you say would is partaking in this decision to cram in a meal so that you can get more things done throughout the day?
I think it's just the way that I have things prioritized. Food has always been less of like an enjoyment factor for me and more of like just fuel.
Okay.
So it's kind of just something that I would like cook up some pasta really quick and maybe put like some garlic salt on it, or like nothing fancy at all, just something that would hold me over until I can get to the gym.
Okay, so you would say prioritizing hunger, prioritizing food is not your top priority.
Yeah, but I think it should be, and I would like it to be higher up on my list.
Okay, so you would like that to change. Do you have any ideas of how you would want to change that or what you could do to change that?
I think something that would really help me change it could be like knowing what and how to cook so that it's more of a reward when I do eat instead of just throwing something in my mouth and running out the door.
Okay, so knowing how to cook and kind of finding that satisfying factor to food and not just having it be fuel. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that there's any positives to your current habits of eating and honoring your hunger?
Um right now I think the one thing that I do really enjoy about my eating habits is that it's quick and it's easy. Um, I don't plan much, but I also don't have very much variety. So every time I go to the grocery store, I get the same 3 meals and I eat them all week long. Um, it gets a little boring, but I like that it's super easy for me to do and it doesn't take too much time.
Okay, so you would say that it fits your schedule and it fits your lifestyle and it
Yeah, definitely.
okay, and would what would you say that the negatives to your current eating habits are? Or some things that
Um,
you just really want to fix?
I would say it's boring. um, but yeah, what I'd really like to fix is just knowing when to eat and how much to eat. Um, I don't portion size at all or anything. I kind of eyeball what I'm feeling, but I tend to be so hungry while I'm cooking that I make too much food and then I feel like I need to finish the whole bowl of food or the whole plate. And then by the time I'm done, I'm just way overstuffed.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so just trying to learn how to not only create different meals, but it's just you feel the need to finish all of the plate instead of noticing when your body feels full or that it's time to finish eating.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely have an issue with I never save food. Like I never have leftover. I always have to eat the whole thing. So that's definitely an issue for me.
Okay, so I think that I would like to pull up a handout to see if we can provide you just with a bit more information outside of this meeting.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a handout for tuning into your hunger and fullness. So I'm going to share my screen just to give you an overview of this handout. So I picked this one today because I think that not only is learning how to honor your hunger important, but it's tuning into the hunger and fullness. which would be able to better equip you to honor that hunger. So, this is the handout, and it's tuning into your hunger and fullness, and
Mm-hmm.
it shows you a scale, and it just provides you with a bit more information. So, there's that. And you could look over that later if that's something that interests you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that I'd be interested in.
Okay. So I feel that we've learned a lot today, or well, I've learned a lot about you. And so basically, you feel that you would like to get more nutrients and slightly better at eating because you are picking up your active lifestyle, but you don't necessarily have the time all the time to create these new fun eating ideas, and you find yourself just going back to the same 3 or 4 meals every time. Okay, so I would like, if you would like, we can create sort of an experiment to help plan how to better go about this process of figuring out how to honor your hunger more.
Sure.
So I think that the next time you go to the grocery store, you should try not to get those 3 or 4 meals and try and figure out something else. What would you say some other meals are that interest you that would work in with your schedule?
Um, I don't know. It would have to be something that would definitely fill me up for a good
Okay.
period of time. I usually try to have like a starch, a protein, and a fruit or vegetable in most of what I make. Um, so yeah, maybe I could do like a more exciting like pasta dish or like a stir fry or something.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. It
Yeah.
seems like you have a pretty good understanding of the different food groups and how they react with the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will be able to help you picking out more nutrient based foods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next time you go to the grocery store, try picking out those foods. And I'd say maybe at least switching up a few meals once a week or
Mm-hmm.
twice a week, just to give yourself a better opportunity to broaden your nutritional horizon.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something I could definitely do.
Okay, yeah. So you're interested. What would you say your kind of downfalls would be with this experiment?
Oof, probably like trying to find the time to find new recipes. Um and then being able to find that in the store. It's pretty easy for me right now to just go into Trader Joe's and go to the 4 aisles that I know where
Yeah.
everything is. Um, so yeah, it would just be a little bit more time consuming, but I don't think it should take too long. Um, just to figure out a couple more recipes or a couple more things that I could add to the recipes that I already have.
Okay, so the time aspect again
Mm-hmm.
is something that you would be worried about. And what would you say is kind of the factor to this time? Like, what would you do? Is there just not enough time in the day, or you would rather spend time doing other things?
I
Is
think
it
it's
something, could you make more time?
I think, yeah, I think I could definitely make more time. Um, Typically my day's pretty busy, but I definitely have a lot of downtime at night after dinner that I kind of just like hang out and don't really do much with. And like I tend to wake up in the morning just for class. I wake up and then I hit snooze 3 times until I absolutely have to get up. Um, so yeah, I could probably, if I got up a little bit earlier, then that would definitely be a better possibility for me.
Okay. And would you, so waking up earlier, would
Mhm.
you say that with your downtime at night, you would be able to meal plan, or is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, yeah, that's something I could definitely do, like just as I'm watching TV or something with my roommates. I could definitely think a little bit more about what I'm eating, or maybe even look up some recipes or something.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, filling some downtime with just thought of how to better your food intake. Okay,
Mhm.
so it seems like we have a plan, and it seems like we went over a few things about honing in on your honoring your hunger and fullness scale. So I think that should just about cover it. Is there any more questions you have for me today?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to end the meeting, and it was nice to chat with you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Mhm.